Hand it over to Mitchell, who's going to share on step 3.
Thanks, Ross. Thanks for reading.
Get the light, please. Someone turn the light off. Okay, thanks. Cheers.
How long for you?
20 minutes.
Just trying to make.
I'll give you 5.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm Mitchell, I'm an addict.
Hi, Mitchell.
I forgot it was a step share. So I got in there, then Ross just said something. And I thought, well, step 3, I had to look it up, like. and then I thought, oh, good, that's quite a good one, yeah, I can go on about that. And then listen to that reading, all I could hear was God, 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 and this other nonsense, like, you know, just, I hate the way it's written, that stuff, like, an our spirit. And, yeah, I'm totally secular, I'm totally atheist, I'm totally anti-theist, I'm opposed to superstition in any form. I think it holds us back as a species and it's harmful for the planet. So that's my stance. I'm at the extreme end of the spectrum. You know, some people are all happy-clappy at the other end. You've got some people who say, oh, I don't believe in religion, but I'm spiritual. And I'm at the extreme end. So just lay that out there so it gives you the context. Good message about that. If someone's struggling, they come in new, tried everything else, nothing's worked, and you see that you heard what I just heard, that or that gobbledygook promising to get rid of depression. I don't think so. It's like it works for someone like me. You know, it worked for someone like me, and it, you know, I do a translation job with steps like that. I have to go through the steps. It's step 3 share, and it just said giving your life and your will over to God and all like this. So I've got to tell you my truth. So I obviously take out God's. For me, God's higher power, all that, the religiosity. I have to sort of get through that stuff to get to the heart of what actually works. And it's the community. It's you lot. So it's coming into a place of people who get me, got me back then, importantly, knew about where I'd been and able to help me when I felt helpless when I crawled in here. I was dying. You know, I'd had an hard time for a long time, and I tried everything else, and nothing else came close to even nudging me towards any way of getting out of this nightmare merry-go-round of using, which you know about. But I did, you know, honestly did feel something different when I went into the first meeting. I was really sketchy then, so I can't remember like the message coming through from anyone's share. But the people I felt sort of were my people, and so that's what it is for me. And where it says where you give your will in your life is, I don't know what you have to write all that dramatic way, you know, it's just it's just simply that I was so arrogant, you know, I believed everything what occurred, what popped up in my head, and that was a lot of messed up stuff. There was some bad wiring, and for some reason I thought every notion what came to me was that was fact. Anything bad happened, it was your fault, other people's fault. It wasn't my fault, nothing. How can you go through life like that? I was so immature, couldn't reflect on things, didn't have any empathy, didn't know how any of my actions, and I was quite an immoral, you know, person, and selfish, and you know, my actions, how they impacted on me. I had no sense of that at all. So I was really like a feral little kid when I come in, just no maturity whatsoever, not a lot of humanity in a way. You know, I was just really driven. I just wanted to party. That was it for me. And so when I come in, as I said, I'd had an hard time for a long time, and I was sort of quite broken, you know, and I was really sort of quite broken inside, and as you know, I developed more towards the end of my youth, and I come in when I was 33, quite negative relationship with myself and thoughts about myself. So I thought I was bad, even though I hadn't been brought up as a banged on about religious or nothing. I deserved this, hell that I was living in, you know, it was a type of penance, all this stuff, like, you know, And I think some of it was maybe come from the fact that I knew that I'd hurt people and stuff like that. I knew I'd acted outside my real values, which were tucked right away. Some part of me knew that. So I come in, I felt really bad about myself and all, and I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust my decision making anymore. You know, for the last couple of years of using, I'm stopping this Friday, and you know, I had a habit, and can get to Friday, I think, oh, I'll do it Monday, and then Monday I'll do it Friday, and every time that happened, I couldn't remember that I just said that for the year before, every Monday and Friday. I was still thought I was going to do it, so that's a sort of denial. But at the end, something happened. I got some sort of clarity. I knew that I was dying. It was killing me, certainly in my spirit, and I realised it wasn't working. I realised I was saying, you know, I realised I had no control, and it kicked my ass, and I was trapped. So I knew that already, you know. So when I come in here and they started saying stuff like step 3, to me, I understand it as the community, people. You tell me what to do. I can't. I don't trust myself. And people saying, you know, all the little helpful stuff like, if you've got to make a decision, don't make any big decisions in the first year, but if you've got to make any, ask 3 people in recovery who's experienced you, respect. And so that's what I did, because I had, you know, there was no, for me, I wasn't looking behind thinking, I want to go back and show me mates how, you know, all this, that and the other. Everything behind me was gone as far as I was concerned. Just drew a line. It was all just ended in this wreckage. And I just felt like I just need to go forward, a new life. And so that's what I did. And I did surrender. That's a funny enough a word I didn't struggle with. I know some people have things with that, you know, I didn't. I was quite happy to be like, you lot, show me, and you know, it all made sense to me. This is the thing, I read that book overnight, someone gave it me, and I thought it makes sense to me. I didn't like a lot of the weirdy woo-ness of it, but I thought there's actually a bit of sense to it. It's like a therapeutic model that I could see would give you a good overhaul completely inside and all, and help me to live properly as a person, because I didn't have that stuff with parenting, and I thought, yeah, that makes sense, you know. Take inventory and make recompense to people, and you know, help people, and all this stuff. Like, I thought, yeah, this is being a bit. I've got to be a good person. You know, I've always been, as I said, I knew that I've been. It was wrong the way that I was going, and I sort of knew the way that I'd been thinking was wrong, and it was selfish, and I did hurt people, and I sort of got that, and this seemed like a good way to go forward, you know, and so I did that, and so I did that with all the steps, sort of, you know, translated it in my own way, you know, made decisions turn to people with more experience in recovery, to my mind, for as long as I need, because at a certain point, through doing the steps and living, that bad wiring in my head and the weird sort of discombobulation between my gut, my heart and my head and my feelings and my intellect, and you know, all of that started to become more in tune through the steps, because you work it to your own self, don't you? I got to know who I was, my authentic self, so I got to be able to trust myself a lot of the time around decision making in certain things, and you know, and I'm really happy about that. You know, I don't want to be reliant on, oh, I can't decide anything, I have to hand everything over and all this. It's like that thing about submission and all that. It comes from obviously religious like stuff, but no, I can, you know, manage myself and my life and get along with people. I don't feel any more of a handicap than anyone else out there who've, you know, people out there who are not us. You talk to them, they're just as weird as us, and they got all sorts of different stuff, and you know, problems and things, you know, I just feel like I just got this. And, but yeah, so I can trust myself, but then I still need to know to tap into it, not to get into that thing if I know it all. And, you know, I will say that there's commonalities between us. I believe that we are a type, and I belong in this, you're my people, because there is a thing where I think I'm all right, I'm not all right, and I've crossed the line, and things are all out of proportion and seem huge, and I don't really know what's going on, but I talk to other people in here, and friends in here, and then it becomes right-sized, and you see a way through it, and everything, and I don't think people out there, they do understand necessarily, you know, they're operating on a different vibration, aren't they, you know, they go to clubs and pubs and things like that and all, which is alright if you want to laugh and dance, but don't look for they're operating on quite a superficial level, especially at social events, and because they're not like us necessarily. We're sensitive, aren't we, for starters. We're all neurospicy, or you know, we've all got IBS and all the usual, all these things. Do you know what I mean? There's so much coming out as dyslexics. We're all like that. What I call special, and people get it in here. And there's a part of me what at one point did kick against the, you know, there's always something that's going to be a bit wrong, and I'm always going to need this and everything. You know, I did something, I fucking feel right now. I don't have to keep talking myself down. But the reality is, I think I struggle with myself sometimes, and that's the reality. And I got a toxic male pride once a year where I'm holding it down, and I'm sorting out. That's you're weak. You know, there is that part of my personality, which is not a good part. That same part that is had me fucking shouting at a broken wheelchair yesterday. I'll fucking push it down the hill, you cunt. You know. He was, yeah, luckily other people in recovery had to stand in and say, don't engage. He was shouting out, you know, all this, fucking reform, get in and all this, like you know, it's a trigger for me, racist stuff. And, so that's still there, isn't there, that stuff. And you know, but this is out to me, you know, not really being in a lot of trouble for a long time. And despite that stuff in there, it helps you manage it. So, yeah, I sort of do need it, like, I think, you know. I like to tell myself I still come to the meetings to see me mates and for company, because otherwise I'd just be sat in the ice. And there's a truth to that, you know. I spend a lot of time alone, and I don't go to pubs and clubs. I don't like normal people and all that, so I come to meetings, don't I? But the fact is, I struggle from time to time. I've been with my sponsor today, talking about stuff, talking about, am I neurodivergent? Do I need some help? I'm struggling with lining things up in my life, and it's all around, and I get overwhelmed, and I can't seem to pin things. And I was just reading through some stuff about it all, and like, the medication came out, and I got tearful last week. I know it shocked me because it sounded like it was me and the stuff I'm struggling with, you know, and it's funny because I was looking for someone else, you know, but in a way that's how it works with stuff in here, because I'm trying to help someone else. That's how you know, that's how things come to you, and like sponsoring people, you know, you end up feeling good and making friends or something, you know. So it does all that, because I never thought like that before. Yeah, so it's about, I'm naturally arrogant and a know-it-all, so it's good for me to know that stuff, bring that step through, where I listen to people and try to make it so that people feel that they can tell me the truth and get through my, so I could put a thing up, you know, it's not just about being tall or broke or anything like that. You can put screens that stop people getting real with you, and I got to be careful with that. Yeah, because otherwise there's no connection with people. You've got to be open, which you learn in this stuff, like the open aspect of this step, and the step forward first cracks like that, the armour start opening up, and then get the love and trust instead of the ridicule and the ostracisation of what I thought would come. And that builds you up to try and be open more, you know, and then you can have real moments with people and connections, and not all the time. You can't do it all the time, you know, but I couldn't. It'd be too much for me to have too much stuff. I start crying and things, but I think with friendships and things you can get in here, you can just have the moments from time, throughout time, where you have a close thing and you never forget that. And then like your friends in here, you don't see for years. Like Liam didn't see him for years, you know, but things will never change, you know, between us. So that's what you get in here, really. And I didn't have any intimate connection with anyone before, even what they call intimate partners and things like that. I was always kept my stuff back, mainly because if they knew about me and I was unlovable, and I don't think I knew all that then. I think it's just fear about being found out, or, you know, I was, you know, I suppose I was living a straight life before. Frightened they could see that I fancied blokes as well, and having these weird fantasies, or like gangbangs and all this, like, you know, and it's, but you know what I mean, everything about me, my truth, I was ashamed and all like this and everything. Now, I you know, I love it all. I love all the bits of me what was hidden and ashamed, and they're integrated. That's good. You know, I couldn't have done that. This is another thing, thanks, Roz. I couldn't have done that on my own, put myself together out there. It would have got worse. It wasn't getting better, it was getting worse. And, well, I'd have ended up dead. And I'd have been happy about it. But you come in here, I got the opportunity to look at myself, you know, get everything out on the table. And I really, really love my life today, and all the things in it, you know, and I think about it, it's a really nice, you know, package and everything. There's certain areas that I can, you know, like an artist, I can home in on something which isn't going exactly how I want. I'm not being productive enough right now with some of the stuff I do. And I can sort of weaponise that stuff against myself, but really and truly, that's, you know, it's a bit of guidance for me to look at that. Then how I'm starting to treat myself, and it's like for me to that's the motivator to see my sponsor today. You know, be glad to come here tonight and look at some other things, and you know, I'll take some action, and we will get things better, because my life has got better and better. Things weren't perfect day one. As my first sponsor said, you know, as you mature and go, you throw the toys at the pram as you go, you know. So it's there's still a little bits to do, but you know, I'm really happy. I just had a great month in Thailand. Absolutely, just love how I feel like there, and could go straight back. And I'm still carrying that thing of look forward to going again and stuff like that. And yeah, and I just had to look on make music, and I just looked on my Spotify today, and I had loads and loads and loads of people taking the piss, laughing at my girlfriend was down there about how many Spotify monthly listeners I have. And but it's just gone like this, and it's like, how the fuck do people even know about it? Like, you know. And I thought, I do know, because somehow someone's heard it, said to them, listen to this, it's really fucking good. It's not like it, and it is good. So I do know how it's happened without any publicity. So thanks to this stuff here, I can run this software, and I've got all these other songs. I can get some more out there for these people, like they're hungry. You know what I mean? And yeah, that was my dream when I was a little kid, I think, to make music. It's my first love. I do a few creative things, but it came back to me a few years ago, because I had like a breakdown, as you remember. Like, I was coming to this meeting, mental and physical, and I couldn't work, and I was thinking, what the fuck can I do in my bedroom at my own pace? I've got chronic fatigue and all these other things now, and I'm mental, a little bit of anxiety attacks every day and all. I thought, well, I could do music on the computers like the kids do these days. So I've learnt myself to do it and all, and you know, to a really good standard, and I'm doing it. And I should have been doing that when I was 16 in uni school. That's my thing. Well, today I'm 61, so it's 16 years way round, and I'm doing it. And I just in them Spotify and mistake. Believe me, it's not a big number, but it's multiples and multiples and multiples of what it was the last time I looked. And so, you know, and I should, you know, we've been talking about it, so I suppose I am grateful for this stuff. You know, I was kick and fight again. It's like your family, isn't it? You can slag them off, but if other people do. That's it, finished.
Thanks. Thanks, Rachel. Hold on, let me stop it.